Hi, I'm Hal Cranmer. You guys all know me from the owner of the assisted living where your mom or dad might be or your loved one. I want to introduce you today to a very good friend I met online who's been helping us the last couple months. Um, you know how I'm into nutritious foods for your relative, but I'm not an expert on it. So I have an expert, Maria Emmerich. She found me online. She reached out to me. She has written tons of books on cooking, and she sent me all those books, which I am using in our homes right now to feed your families. And I get rave reviews from her recipes for our residents in our homes. Maria, can you sort of talk about how you got into cooking the way you do and the health journey you were on?
Well, Hal, first I wanted to say you're such a blessing, not only to all of the people that you take care of, but like to me, you're so kind and like the things that you post, I just want to thank you for all of that. And it was such an honor to send you my books. And it all started when I was 16 years old. I wasn't feeling well. I was twice my size. I went to my family doctor, and at that visit, I was told I had PCOS, which is a polycystic ovarian syndrome, which we now know as type 2 diabetes that affects female fertility. So being told I couldn't have my own children at the young age of 16 was pretty heartbreaking. I also was given an acid blocker. I was given, because I had severe acid reflux, I had depression, I had IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. So at that young age of 16, I left that doctor's visit with 3 prescription drugs, but I never filled them, Hal, because I took my dog Tiva, who was a beautiful golden retriever, to the vet that same week. And the first question the veterinarian asked me was, "What are you feeding her?" And the doctor said it was nothing I was doing wrong. It was just the cards I was dealt because my grandpa had type 2 diabetes. I had some cousins that had that. It's because of what we ate. I worked at a coffee shop where before I would go to high school, I would wake up really early, like 4:30, and I would make the scones and the muffins and the cinnamon rolls for the coffee shop. I'd go to school. After school, I would go back, and whatever didn't sell, I got to go home with. So hell, I was making extra cinnamon rolls so I could have them for dinner. And you think I'm kidding? I'm not.
No,
And
I can believe it. I was horrible when I was a kid.
yeah, and so I had to really look at my lifestyle. There wasn't the internet back then. This was 26 years ago. You can do the math if you want to know how old I am.
So you're
But
about 34, 35.
yeah, sure, right? Thanks. um, but at the time, there wasn't the internet, but I looked into what causes PCOS because it was pretty serious, and it's excess caffeine, sugar, and carbohydrates, which is what I lived off of. And so I was like, oh, I don't want to live off of chicken breast and broccoli, gross. And I still don't. And so I just learned how to make really tasty, delicious food into things people don't even know is healthy. And I love to teach people who are like, I didn't even know how to cook. And your recipes taught me what fish sauce is and all these different things that adds flavor and adds umami to a delicious meal. And I just feel, I feel very blessed to help people learn how to cook and enjoy cooking and they love the food. Like people are losing weight, they're getting off medication, eating delicious food, and it couldn't warm my heart more. What happened was, um, my husband ended up losing his job when we were adopting 2 children. And my dear friend said, Maria, why don't you write a book of your recipes to raise money for your adoption? And so I did. And before you know it, Halle Berry has my books and a lot of other
Wow.
celebrities. And it's just been that downtime, the hardships I went through helped blossom this. It was pretty cool.
Really cool. I saw a video online of you and Halle Berry cooking together. She
She's
was
awesome.
a crush I had when I was much younger. So
I hear that a
uh,
lot.
I bet it's understandable. But a lot of the reason she's probably so healthy and good looking is because she eats very well.
She
Um,
does. She does
you
very
were
well.
seeing lots of good changes because of your cooking in our homes. We're seeing people get off their diabetes medication. We're seeing people uh, actually improve on cognitive testing with Alzheimer's. We're seeing people start walking again that were in wheelchairs. I mean, we're seeing definite weight loss. I don't know if you've seen online, we got one lady at one of my homes that's lost over 200 pounds in 8 months. And she definitely needed to lose it. It's not like and I think one of the big worries is, you know, a lot of older people are very thin and already. And so uh,
But
I
that's
want them to understand that it's not just about weight loss,
no,
it's
it's
health as
really not.
well.
It's really not. And the thing about it's not like my kids have been keto since I've adopted them. They actually weren't even on the growth charts. They're from Ethiopia. They were so small, they weren't even on the US growth charts. And
Oh,
within a
wow.
year, they were on it. Within 2 years, they're at the 70th percentile. So
Oh,
it's depends on
fantastic.
how, yeah. And I've had people with severe Crohn's and diverticulitis that were 90 pounds and they finally gained weight because they healed that gut lining. And so it's not necessarily a weight loss diet. It just depends on how you manipulate and use it. And obviously getting off of, sugary cereals and candy and that type of stuff, you're going to lose weight if you need to. But if you're already thin and you're finally eating nutrient dense food, you're probably going to gain some of the muscle that you need to keep you strong as go on.
Which is a big plus because there's this condition called sarcopenia in older people that
They need more
I'm
protein.
experiencing. I'm 55, so you lose that muscle, and I'm fighting it every day. So,
There's a curve where you need a lot when you're younger, when you're just a child and a toddler, and then there's a curve where you don't need quite as much, but then as you age, you need more again, and that's when we usually don't eat enough protein.
and that's what I love about your recipes is you put at the bottom how much protein in each one, how many carbs, how much fat, all that kind of stuff, so we can really monitor it. You've got a wonderful website with your husband at keto-adapted.com that we're using to not only plan out our meals, but it automatically creates a grocery list for us. So we have exactly what we need and make sure we're ready to go with each meal for our residents.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so can you maybe go over one or two just success stories you've had of people you work with? How, I don't know if Holly Berry needs, you know, you're going to see
Well,
a
she's a
huge
professor
improvement with what
herself.
she used to look like. But, just in general, ordinary people and what you've seen, you talked about a few, but maybe a case study or two.
Yeah, behind me, I have Women's World magazine. I should have had it out, but on the cover, her name is Twyla. I actually have 3 different clients on different covers of Women's World magazine. Twyla, she lost 270 pounds.
Wow.
Obviously was obese, and she lost that within 2 years and kept it off. She came to visit me in Hawaii to, just to talk and chat and you know
I plan to do that too. I'd love to come visit you. Why?
Yes, you should. But
Uh,
like a decade of working with her, it was finally nice to hug and have a meal together. And she got off so many medications that it just like that's I worked with a pharmacist once and I always asked, are you on any medications? And she said, no, Maria, I know that every prescription I write is a little bit of poison. And I was like, at
wow.
least you said it, not me. But it's true, getting people off medication, that's huge. That's, of course it's great when they lose weight too, but
Right.
when
That's
they
kind of
finally,
what we're aiming at more so is the
yeah, healing the
medication.
body. Yeah, totally healing the body. And that's really um uh, emotional to me. I love it. But gosh, there's there's so many, it's hard to go.
I know. I
uh
look at your website and I see testimonial after testimonial. It's incredible.
I'm trying to think of one that's not weight loss. But like there's one, Jess, she's on the website too. She lost over 200 pounds, but she started it because she had epilepsy and she was having seizures. And as an adult, it's hard to get rid of those seizures. And she's totally in remission. Of course, if she brings back sugar and carbohydrates, they will come back. But she hasn't
Sure.
had a seizure in years. No more migraines. She looks stunningly beautiful. And
Wow.
it's just cool to see that transformation. That's really life changing. And then I also love working with children, children that, are sick, whether they have epilepsy, cancer, whatnot, and just seeing them enjoy the food. And what I love is they're like, I didn't want to eat sugar free, but I see my son is Kai and Micah. I see Kai eating, the healthy, and I wanted to be like him. And,
Oh,
that just
awesome.
like, I love that my kids are inspiring other children to get off sugar because do you remember Little House on the Prairie?
Oh, yeah, very much
You know,
so.
it's the only show that, we watched, right?
Well,
And
I went to the house of Little House on the Prairie on Lake Pepin there in
oh,
Wisconsin.
yeah, in Wisconsin. That's where
Yeah,
that's where I am right now in Wisconsin.
yeah.
But Laura Ingalls Wilder had one piece of candy a year at Christmas. And
Mhm.
now
Wow.
if a kid gets 100% on a math test, we give
Oh,
them a
yeah.
Beatles.
No,
Like,
my kids after every sports event, they bring Rice Krispie treats and all that kind of stuff for them. Yeah, it's just ingrained in them early. That's a great point about the kids too, because a lot of my families, when they see mom or dad in our assisted living home with dementia, with diabetes, with all these Parkinson's chronic conditions and everything, there's a genetic component to a lot of those too. And they think, okay, that may be my future.
yeah.
And so I'm hoping that, with the results we're getting with the residents in our homes, the families are starting to see maybe I should start this early to avoid needing health services later on in life.
And it's so true. It's so true. And why do we like, oh, let them be kids? They turn 18 or 25 or whatever age, they're not supposed to be addicted to sugar after, decades of,
Oh,
having
yeah.
ice
It,
cream after baseball. And it's too much sugar. It's just too much.
yeah, I felt when I got off sugar, and I'm not completely there, but I'm very close. It felt like drug addiction. Like I was in rehab to try to, I could feel the shakes and like, oh, I need this stuff. And it's very
Yeah.
addictive.
Well, yeah, when you watch the brave links in the brain, it's just like morphine or cocaine, the reward system. So I think that we should be treating it as we should be respecting it as a very powerful drug.
Right. Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. Um, it's scary how addictive it is. And it's pushed. It's not like
Oh, I
you
know.
don't get warnings about it either. You get, hey, look at the new deal at Dairy Queen on their blizzards.
I know, but for your residents to be in a safe place where they're getting the nutrients that they need for their brain and their muscles, like that, just like my heart is bursting for joy for because being in a safe place, that's that's amazing to have a haven that where you can get delicious food and nutritious food without the sugar. And I would be the first. Yeah, I want to go there. Like if anything ever happens to me, I'm coming.
Well,
I'm
thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's a perfect environment to help people do this. I wish I could get people in their 30s and stuff to, spend a couple months there and help them too. Who knows?
I'm
But
sure people would want to go do a retreat like that, to get rid of the sugar.
right. But one thing that's really nice, especially for the elderly population, it, the commercial protein shakes from Nestle, like Ensure and stuff, that's widespread. It's prescribed by doctors. It's brought in by hospice. All those things. Nothing against that. They just, that's what they were trained and taught. But you
There's
have
no,
recipes for protein shakes that
yeah.
are so much better than.
Well, here's the thing that doesn't technically have sugar in it, like Ensure or Pediasure even, but it has something called maltodextrin. And if you look at the glycemic index of sugar has a glycemic index of 52. Maltodextrin, which comes from corn, is 110. So sure, it's not technically sugar, but it's going to raise your blood sugar more than if you ate sugar.
Wow, I had no idea.
Just a marketing tool. So like those shakes, if it comes from a package, think twice. That's all I want to
Well,
say.
I think, first of all, anything that says nutrition in the aisle of a pharmacy, I think is a little suspect. You don't see
Fun.
produce and meat and stuff like that in a pharmacy. But
No.
also, you can see it in my residents of, they're more than willing to drink Ensure all day long. Like normal medications people are a little hesitant to take, but Ensure it's just give me more of that. And it's because it's so addictive. And,
Yep.
and you got to think Well, I brought an ice cream, they'd eat it up like that too. So there, it should have alarm bells going on. And that's why I'm like, we can make these protein shakes, Maria, put them in the fridge. And when they need a hit of that, we can bring it right out.
I think they're more affordable because like that stuff's not cheap.
No,
And
it's not cheap. I mean, a lot of it's covered by insurance. And if they're on
oh,
hospice, for instance, they're going to get it for free. But
I didn't
um,
think about that.
it's still not good, regardless of the price.
No, it's not.
So, well, Maria, I just want to give an introduction for my family and friends and residents and their families, and let them know what an incredible thing you're doing for humanity, and what an incredible thing you're doing for us. Everyone's very excited here. My caregivers love it. My managers love it, because it makes their job easier too when people get better.
Well,
So,
I'd love to come and cook for you. So if you ever want me to come and cook and meet everybody, maybe
all
like
right. Well,
even do
I've got a son in Minnesota, so maybe I'll come up to Wisconsin and
yeah,
visit
for
you,
sure. Yeah,
to start with, and then I got to come to Hawaii and visit you.
of course. I'll
But
cook for you.
yeah, if you're ever in the Phoenix area, we would. Oh, I'd love that.
That would be
So,
so cool.
all right. Well, hey, thank you again for doing this. I really appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck with everything. And we'll be in touch in the
Thank
future, I'm sure.
you. Have a great day.
You too, Maria. Thank you.
Bye now.